Hey Jerry, I got peanut butter in my Liberator again. Could you help me? Wait, who the hell are you? Are you okay there, buddy? So, is your whole job just to stare at people and breathe or something? You are not the Covenant. Are you an enemy of humanity? Buddy, I am humanity. Oh, alright, that explains a lot. You wanna go help me fight the Covenant? You know what? Sure, why not? But, you gotta help me get the peanut butter out of my gun first. How does that even happen? It's better you don't know. The Helldivers are the prime distributors of managed democracy in their universe, and they are far better fighters than anything the bugs or bots have to offer. But how would they fare against the Spartans from Halo? In the Halo universe, the Spartans are the super soldiers, and they are the top-level soldiers of the UNSC, much like how the Helldivers are the top level of the Super Earth Armed Forces. And I think it's only fair that we compare top of the line to top of the line in this fight. So get ready for Helldiver versus Halo Spartan. But first, you should consider subscribing to my channel, because if you don't, I will remove carbon from the universe. That's right, carbon, the building block of life, will be gone if you do not subscribe. Anyways, thanks, back to the video. So let's start out by looking at our Helldiver. Let's look at their basic loadout, their basic weapons, their basic armor. Looking at the basic Helldiver's gun, the Liberator. It shoots a 5x5 by 50mm round, which is very similar to 5.56 of the modern day. While the Liberator works great against the unarmored Terminids, the damage might be a little weak against the heavily armored Spartans. Now, the Helldiver's armor is pretty hard to find any details on online. It's got multiple different classes, actually. You've got light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor that all have different characteristics. Obviously, light armor lets you move faster, but it offers less protection. Whereas heavy armor, more protection, but you move slower. Now, the armor in Helldivers will save you if you get hit. You get stabbed by a bug, you're gonna take damage, but it'll deflect the killing blow and you'll live. You get shot by an automaton, again, you're gonna take some damage, but it hopefully will save your life. And that kind of brings us the question, what is this armor made of? Now, there is no good details online of what the Helldiver's armor is made of, and you have so many different classes that it's hard to guess. If I had to take an educated guess, looking at it, it's fairly shiny. I'd say it's some sort of composite armor, where it's got a metal casing on the outside and ceramic on the inside. Now, the metal casing on the outside will hopefully help deflect some claws from the Terminids, and that ceramic on the inside will hopefully dissipate some of the heat energy from the automaton's lasers. And speaking of keeping alive, there is one thing the Helldivers have that we cannot ignore: the stims. The Helldiver stims are an incredible healing tool. They can fix broken bones, they can heal up any kind of wound you get immediately back to full health and put you back in the fight. This is going to be very valuable when our Helldiver is fighting the Spartan here. And the last bit of the basic Helldiver's loadout is the grenades. As you level up, you get access to all sorts of fancy grenades, but to keep this simple, we're going to say this Helldiver has taken the basic frag grenade. Now, I know the Helldivers get all sorts of fancy options as they level up and unlock new strategies and whatnot for weapons to use, different items to take, but we're going to stick with the basics for now. And with that, let's move on to the Spartan. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit more unbalanced for our Helldiver here. The Spartan, well, they're a genetically engineered super soldier from the far future. Their armor, incredible. Their weapons, actually not as advanced as I thought they'd be, considering all the other fancy technology in the Halo universe, but it's not an even match. But we got to dig into our Spartan here. So first, we're going to say our Spartan has the classic main gun of the Halo universe, the MA5B. It's a classic, it's iconic, and it shoots 7.62, which is slightly larger than our 5.5 by 50 of the Helldivers, but not insanely larger, surprisingly. And, luckily for our Helldivers, I said that they have likely composite armor of metal and ceramic underneath. And that should stop a fair few of these 7.62 rounds. Eventually the ceramic will crack so much that it's going to go through and get our Helldiver either way. But you know what? It's not going to be one shot going straight through. And next up on weapons, we've got the Spartan's grenades. Well, there is some super fancy grenades that stick to people and whatnot. We're going to stick with just the classic frag grenade as well, because that's the one in the basic loadout. And now, it's time to talk about the thing that makes everything unbalanced in this fight. The Spartan's armor, because the Spartan's armor is insane. Spartans wear what is called Mjolnir-powered assault armor, and it is incredible. It is not only armor that protects the wearer, it is a full power suit that increases their strength, speed, reflexes. It allows them to breathe in outer space, toxic environments. And Helldivers, might I mention, when they throw a gas attack, suffocate on their own gas, so they don't even have ventilation. And if that wasn't enough, the Halo armor contains biofoam injectors that heal you anytime you take damage. It'll heal the wound, as well as heal the armor itself. It can stand up to a lot of damage. Oh, and I almost forgot. They get shields by standard. The Mjolnir armor, it gets a shield. And you know what? That shield comes up pretty darn quick after taking damage, so I think our Helldivers are going to be in for a real fight here. So, now that we've talked about the basic loadouts, it's time to have these two fight. This is going to be a 1v1 fight, one Helldiver versus one Spartan. And I gotta say, yeah, the Spartan's winning almost every single time here. Now, while I was surprised that the Halo gun uses such a basic round that the Helldiver likely could stand up to a few shots from, eventually their armor's going to give out, and I just don't think they can put out enough damage from their basic gun, the Liberator, to actually take down the Spartan's shield, their fancy armor, and all the healing properties. I think the only real chance our Helldiver stands here is if they get a real lucky toss with a grenade. Maybe they can sneak up close enough to toss a grenade before the Spartan even notices, because we can see in Halo that a well-placed grenade will take out a Spartan in only one shot. So if our Helldiver can pull that off, they might be able to win, but that's really their only chance. Now, this is only taking a look at the Helldivers loadout versus the Spartans loadout and the very basic level, just weapons and armor only, that's it. But there is a key factor about the Helldivers that we cannot ignore. Every Helldiver gets access to call-in stratagems from their own personal super destroyer. Now, last time I checked in Halo, the Spartans aren't just willy-nilly calling in orbital shots. I'm sure somewhere they can work out a system where they can work their way up the chain of the command, eventually to call down an orbital bombardment, but it is certainly not as simple as saying, I've got a fancy glowy grenade, I'm gonna toss it at that guy and call in an orbital laser. Now, if we were looking at a whole big battle here, more likely than not, the UNSC Navy would be more than capable of taking out a little super destroyer. But we're not doing battle versus battle here, we're doing Helldiver versus Spartans. You know what? The Helldiver gets their super destroyer. And this being said, the Helldivers get multiple stratagem options as they level up. There'll be certainly enough damage to take out that Spartan, but there is a catch. They have to get close enough to throw their glowy little grenade at the Spartan, and that means that the Spartan does not take them out first while they're running up to do that. So, who would win here in a true 1v1 scenario? Spartan versus Helldiver. It's the Spartan in almost every single case. The Spartan is going to wipe the floor with this Helldiver. The Helldiver just unfortunately does not have advanced enough armor or advanced enough weapons. I think the only real way our Helldiver wins here is they're going to have to get real lucky with a grenade throw or real lucky with a stratagem throw. They're going to have to be behind some good covers that don't get taken out right away and hope that 500 kilogram bomb lands before the Spartan can get close. If the Spartan gets close, they're done for. I'd give our unlucky little Helldiver here maybe a 1 to 2% chance of winning, honestly. Now, I don't think it's entirely fair that we only look at a 1v1 based on basic loadout, because you know what? The huge advantage of the Helldivers is numbers and variety of loadout. The Spartans are genetically modified super soldiers that are super hard to train, and their Mjolnir armor, it said it costs almost as much as a small starship to build a single suit. Now the Helldivers, on the other hand, that's pretty much just a basic dude they grabbed from a Wendy's parking lot, gave about 28 minutes of training to, and gave him the cheapest gear they could find. But you know what? In Super Earth, there's a lot of parking lots, and there's a lot of dudes, so they are taking the approach of strength in numbers. So, now that we've taken this into consideration, let's bump things up a little here to try to make it a little more even fight. You can drop with a squad of 4 in Helldivers, so let's make this a 4v1 of Helldivers to Spartan ratio. And I mentioned those Helldivers get a wide variety of weapons and stratagems, so let's give these Helldivers a good and varied loadout to take out this Spartan. Now, for this fun little exercise, let's say our Helldivers are trying to take out a lone Spartan who's guarding an ice cream shop. So let's make a loadout for our Helldivers that'll be ideal for taking out this Spartan. Helldiver 1, we're going to give him a spear rocket to break that Spartan's shield. This spear should be high enough damage to fully take that shield out. Helldiver 2, we're going to give him the railgun so you can get some sustained high damage fire going. Helldiver 3 gets the machine gun to hopefully keep the Spartan pinned down. And Helldiver 4, we're giving an autocannon because I like the autocannon, alright? Now, the Helldivers having a good advantage here is going to rely on the Spartan being distracted, which is very unlikely because of their highly advanced sensors and incredible training, but you know what, let's just say this Spartan here is eating a mint chocolate chip sundae from the ice cream shop, and they're not paying attention, their guard's down. Our Helldivers here, seeing that our Spartan is distracted by delicious ice cream, are going to sneak into position, and that spear gunner is going to open up first and launch a rocket at the Spartan to hopefully break that shield. Now, assuming our Helldivers don't get overexcited here because, you know, they're barely trained and start shooting before that missile hits, we'll say the missile will hit, break the shield, and they can open up with all their special weapons. The railgun, the autocannon, the machine gun. I think this should be enough firepower to flatten that Spartan. Now, with the Spartan being distracted by the delicious ice cream, I'd give the Helldivers squad around an 80% chance of winning, actually. The Helldivers are favored here. Why is it not 100, you may ask? Because the Helldivers have poor training and probably awful aim, which, say the missile misses, the shield's not broken, and the rest of them freak out and start aiming horribly. The Spartan's probably gonna have enough time to fight back and take out all these Helldivers. But if that Spartan is aware, the Spartan has finished his ice cream, he is ready and alert. These Helldivers are more likely than not going to lose, because they need to be able to get into range to get these shots off, and the Spartan's probably going to see them before they do. I'd cut the odds to maybe like a 10% chance, because you know what? There's enough Helldivers, enough firepower that maybe even if a couple of them get taken out, they can still get enough firepower in the Spartan to actually take them down. So, to wrap things up here, if it's a 1v1, the Spartans win in almost every single time. If it's a 4v1, that Spartan's got to be distracted for the Helldivers to have a real chance. But you know what? If in the absolute perfect situation, it's a 4v1, the Spartans eat ice cream, I think the Helldivers have the upper hand. But that is the only situation where the Helldivers have the upper hand. Every other scenario, that Spartan is winning. So hopefully you've enjoyed this breakdown of a Helldiver versus a Halo Spartan. If you did, I'd love if you hit the like button down below and consider hitting that subscribe button to stay tuned for more content like this. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.